Hello, it's nice to see you again. The secret to peace lies in becoming the master of your own mind. Some of you who come to meet with me regularly may already be familiar with this concept and may already be working on it, so this video might be kind of redundant for you. But those who don't have really been on my heart lately, because I want you to have the option of building the skills needed not only to be able to restore yourself to baseline after times of crisis, but also to improve your baseline for what you consider to be doing fine. Now, I'm always still here and you can reach out any time of day or night. That hasn't changed. But I also respect if you're just not feeling that yet. So I will do my best in a short amount of time to explain the general concept and value of becoming the master of your mind. I'd like to begin by talking about adversity. It has a broad spectrum of severity, but in general, it means hardship, distress, trauma, disaster. We all face varying forms of this in our personal lives, no matter how much we strive to avoid it. And by virtue of your being an officer, you not only can't avoid it, but it's your job to manage it for yourself and others. Today I want to look at adversity from a different angle because there is good in it, and it plays an important role in becoming more mentally resilient. Now, it makes sense that if you want to evolve, meaning push yourself to grow past your current limitations, it can't be something you wait for. It's got to be something you work for. The challenge in this and what we need to be willing to accept is that true growth and evolution doesn't happen during the calm times of our lives or in the successful times or in times of celebration. Adversity is a mental crossroads. There's a big swing depending on which path you take, and I want to help you strengthen your ability to choose. Albert Einstein said, "Adversity introduces a man to himself." Improving how you deal with chaos and crisis mentally can greatly enhance your self-image, and having control over how you process a situation can absolutely transform the way you see your life. This is a logical concept, but I think the best way to help you see its worth to you personally is to apply it to your life. So, in the interest of gaining a better understanding, I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath and prepare your mind and be willing to let your memory go to a place that's going to be unpleasant for you. Take a minute now to think of a traumatic incident or a very disturbing call that you had to respond to. No matter what you were going through at the time, this would have triggered what is called a stress response in your body. And this is your body's reaction to what it perceives as a threat or the danger of physical or psychological harm. Physiologically, your body releases adrenaline, norepinephrine, and cortisol. Remember those fight or flight hormones we talked about? Your heart rate increases and your lungs expand to take in more oxygen. That's a process known as bronchial dilation. Pupils dilate, narrowing your vision. You'll be struggling with a surge of intense and most likely valid emotions. And if you're on the job, you'll also be struggling with being deprived of the option of focusing on and processing your own emotions. As these initial symptoms start to ease up, you may experience anger, sadness, moodiness, irritability, or all of them. These feelings are very unpleasant to endure. They're exhausting and upsetting and overwhelming. But this initial experience is not what causes the lasting effect on your stability, your sense of safety, or overall level of peace. How you think and feel about what you experienced will determine the long-term toll it does or does not take on you. If you haven't been to a critical incident stress debriefing with me yet, that's what we do there together. And we do it as soon as possible because the sooner you process the experience and emotions of trauma, the less long-term psychological impact it will have on you. It's not the adversity itself that causes ongoing psychological distress. It is the subsequent interpretations, tangled emotions, and trauma-affected recall of the event that threaten to hijack your mind. When you're in a heightened state of alert during a trauma, even if you kept composure during the entire event, your mind can process things differently and create memories that aren't necessarily completely representative of the facts. The danger in this is that as an officer, you tend to remember things skewed to the side of accepting more responsibility or even blame than is warranted. And then this is the version that gets cemented in your mind. And over time, you just keep amassing the mental shrapnel of the calls you go to. In 2015, a report in the Journal of Traumatic Stress indicated that on average, an officer will be involved in 188 critical incidents during the course of their lives, while the average citizen will be exposed to one. You experience many different types of trauma, exposure trauma, vicarious trauma, and you might think, I didn't have an officer-involved shooting today. I'm good. I didn't respond to a deceased child. I'm fine. But you are getting anywhere from small to huge doses of trauma, which are compounding over time, and you're conditioned not to think anything of it. You lose the ability to see what trauma is on the receiving end, and it becomes your normal. But it's not normal. If the psychological toll of trauma were represented with 1 pound weight strapped to your back, you could probably go through life not noticing 1 pound strapped to your back. But an average of 188 critical incidents? Can you go through life carrying the equivalent of a grown man on your back? But what if there were a way to turn each pound into an ounce? That would change 188 critical incidents into more like 11-ish pounds. It's not perfect, but it's much better. And according to the stats we talked about in the nutrition video, an 11-pound gain for an officer is barely noticed. But seriously, how do we do this? How do we shrink the psychological effect of each incident? The answer is with cognitive reframing. It's what we do in critical incident stress debriefings, and it's what you can learn to do to protect your mind. With cognitive reframing, you identify and then adjust the way situations, experiences, or events are viewed and processed. You're not looking to invalidate your experience or alter the truth. On the contrary, it helps you to become aware of the entirety of the truth, not just the parts that registered during trauma, and then challenge and reprocess them with a more objective mind. This process creates an accurate, complete, logical narrative of what occurred. Then you'll find that the emotions that you experience from the event are a better match. And since you're choosing to process them in a timely, healthy, and effective way, you'll understand them better and you'll manage them better. And this feeling of healthy resolution will allow you to feel like you have permission to mentally move on from the event. I don't mean to make it sound obvious or simple, but with the time limitations of the video, I can really only give you a general overview. Are you able to see the merit in learning this process for yourself? Although it's not impossible to start working on the process on your own, it's really hard to see the things that you may be missing from the narrative you already have in your mind. I have years of experience working on cognitive reframing of deaths, suicides, sexual assault, PTSD, CPTSD, which I'll go to in a future video, and many other forms of psychological trauma. Coming to talk to me isn't about venting, though you're welcome to, of course, and I will feel every emotion with you. And pardon the blatant lack of humility, but I can be extremely helpful with seeing facets of a narrative you might be missing, and illuminating the reasons behind certain behaviors or emotions. And with understanding, there is peace. I don't want to tell you what to think or what to feel. I just want to help you turn those pounds into ounces. Once you're aware of your whole truth and you understand your feelings, you can file things away in a healthier way, and they'll be less likely to be like a monkey on your back, an unpredictable biting monkey. My cell is 978-457-6424, and my office is super cute. And now that it's above 40 degrees, a Winnicott Trail walk and talk is back on the table. Are you ready to become the master of your own mind? You're worth it, you know. Be well.